morning, my dear students. Welcome to the discussion on the subject Engineering Mechanics. Under Engineering Mechanics, we are discussing a topic on friction. Under friction, we are solving a problem on wedge friction. This is the second solved problem we are discussing under wedge friction. This problem is very important problem and it was asked many times under university examinations. The given problem is a block of weight 400 Newton is to be moved by a force P acting on the weightless wedge A with an angle of 10 degrees. If the coefficient of friction of all contact surfaces is 0.2, find the value of P. Here A is the wedge, B is the block. Here, by applying a force P on the wedge, the block starts to move. Our objective is to compute the value of the applied force P. Now we will write the data. Here, weight of the block is equal to 400 Newton and inclination of the wedge is equal to, that is alpha, which is equal to 10 degrees. Coefficient of friction for all contact surfaces, that is mu, is equal to 0.2. From this we will calculate the angle of friction phi. We know that mu is equal to tan phi, which is equal to 0.2. Then phi is equal to 11.30 degrees. Our objective is to calculate the force applied on the wedge to move the block. That is, we need to calculate the applied force P on wedge to move the block. Now we will see what are the terms we are using under this solved problem. Here N1 is the normal reaction exerted by this floor on this block. N1 is the normal reaction exerted by this floor on this block. This normal reaction N1 is perpendicular to the base of the block. N2 is the normal reaction exerted by the wedge on block and block on the wedge. Here N2 is the normal reaction exerted by the wedge on block and normal reaction exerted by the block on wedge. Here the normal reaction exerted by the wedge on the block is equal to the normal reaction exerted by the block on the wedge. N3 is the normal reaction exerted by the wall on wedge. Here this is the wall and normal reaction exerted by the wall on the wedge is equal to N3. Here the normal reaction N3 exerting on the wedge and it is perpendicular to the surface of the wedge. F1 is the frictional force between block as well as this floor and F2 is the frictional force between block as well as wedge. F3 is the frictional force between wall as well as wedge. R1, R2, R3 are the resultants of normal reaction and frictional force between floor and block, block and wedge, and wall and wedge. The solution part is divided into 3 steps. The first step is to draw free body diagram for block. Second step is to draw free body diagram for wedge. Third step is compute the applied force P on wedge so that the block starts to move. When compared to wedge, the block is having less number of unknowns. So we will start drawing free body diagram for block first. Now we will see the concept of drawing free body diagram for block. Here this is the block and this is the wedge. We are applying a force P on the wedge. With that, the block tends to move along the horizontal floor rightward direction and tends to move upward direction along the contact surface of the wedge. That is, the block tends to move up along the contact surface of the wedge and tends to move right along the contact surface of the floor, so that the frictional forces are acting opposite to the movement of the block, that is downward direction along the contact surface of the wedge. As the block tends to move rightward direction on the floor, the frictional force between block as well as floor acts leftward direction. With this basic concept, we'll start drawing the free body diagram for block. Here we'll draw active forces as well as reactive forces acting on the block. This is the block. These two lines are nothing but axis of the block. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. As you know that the frictional force is acting downward direction along the contact surface of the wedge as well as the block, and rightward direction along the contact surface of the floor as well as block. This is F1 and this is F2, and this is normal reaction exerted by the floor on the block. This normal reaction is perpendicular to the surface of the block, and N2 is the normal reaction exerted by the wedge on the block. This normal reaction exerted by the wedge on the block is perpendicular to the surface of the block. Then W is the weight of the block, which is always perpendicular to the ground. Here weight of the block is given in the problem. It is 400 Newton. Now we will draw the resultant forces for the normal reactive forces as well as frictional forces. First we will draw resultant force for frictional force F1 as well as normal reaction N1. This is the resultant force R1. The resultant force R1 is making an angle, say 5 degrees with the N1. Here the calculated angle of friction is equal to 11.30 degrees. Similarly, we will draw resultant force for frictional force F2 as well as normal reaction force N2. The resultant force we are naming it as R2. This R2 is making an angle, say 11.30 degrees with the normal reaction N2. Here 11.30 degrees is nothing but angle of friction. Drawing reactive forces as well as active forces acting on the block is completed. Then we'll resolve the resultant forces, say R1 as well as R2 into their horizontal as well as vertical components. For our convenience sake, we'll draw axis of the block as well as weight of the block and two resultant forces acting on the block. Here, this is the weight of the block, say 400 Newton, and R1 is making an angle 11.30 degrees with the vertical. R2 is making an angle 11.30 degrees with the horizontal. This is R1, which is making an angle 11.30 degrees with the vertical, and R2 is making an angle 11.30 degrees with the horizontal. Then resolve the resultant forces R1 as well as R2 into their horizontal and vertical components. First we'll resolve R1 resultant force into horizontal component as well as vertical component. R1 resultant force horizontal component is R1 sin 11.30 degrees and vertical component is R1 cos 11.30 degrees. Similarly, for R2, the horizontal component value is R2 cos 11.30 degrees and vertical component value is R2 sin 11.30 degrees. Here for R1, the horizontal component value is R1 sin 11.30 degrees and vertical component value is R1 cos 11.30 degrees. For R2, the horizontal component value is R2 cos 11.30 degrees. Vertical component value is R2 sin 11.30 degrees. In order to calculate the unknown values of the forces R1 as well as R2, we'll consider the equilibrium condition for the block. In the equilibrium condition of the block, we are considering the two conditions, that is summation of horizontal forces is equal to 0 and summation of vertical forces is equal to 0. First we consider the summation of the horizontal forces is equal to 0, that is sigma f of x is equal to 0. Here the horizontal forces are R1 sin 11.30 degrees and R2 cos 11.30 degrees. Here the leftward forces we are considering it as negative, rightward forces we are considering it as positive. Then R2 cos 11.30 degrees minus R1 sin 11.30 degrees is equal to 0. Then R2 cos 11.30 degrees is equal to R1 sin 11.30 degrees. Then R2 is equal to R1 into sin 11.30 degrees by cos 11.30 degrees. Then R2 is equal to R1 tan 11.30 degrees. Then R2 is equal to R1 into 0.2. This is the equation number 1. Then we will consider the summation of vertical forces is equal to 0. That is sigma f of y is equal to 0. Here the vertical forces are weight of the block 400 Newton and R2 sin 11.30 degrees, R1 cos 11.30 degrees. Here we are considering upward forces as positive, downward forces as negative. Here R1 cos 11.30 degrees is positive, R2 sin 11.30 degrees is negative, W is equal to 400 Newton is negative. Then R1 cos 11.30 degrees is equal to R2 sin 11.30 degrees plus 400. Then substitute R2 value as R1 into 0.2. Then R1 cos 11.30 degrees is equal to 0.2 into R1 into sin 11.30 degrees plus 400. That is, here we substituted R2 value as 0.2 R1. After that, after simplifying this one, we'll get R1 cos 11.30 degrees minus 0.2 R1 into sin 11.30 degrees is equal to 400. Then R1 into cos 11.30 degrees minus 0.2 into sin 11.30 degrees is equal to 400. After simplifying this, we will get R1 into 0.9414 is equal to 400. R1 is equal to 400 by 0.9414, which is equal to 424.89. After rounding off this, we'll get R1 value as 425 Newton. We know that R2 is equal to R1 into 0.2. Then substitute R1 is equal to 425 Newton in this equation. Then R2 value becomes 85 Newton. That is, R2 is equal to 85 Newton. R1 is equal to 425 Newton. Then we'll move towards drawing free body diagram for wedge and considering the equilibrium condition for wedge. Now we will draw the free body diagram for the wedge by considering reactive forces as well as active forces acting on it. This is the wedge. This is the horizontal axis and this one is the vertical axis of the wedge. N2 is the normal reaction exerted by the block on the wedge. F2 is the friction force between block as well as wedge, which is acting vertically upward direction along the contact surface of block as well as wedge. Then we'll draw resultant force for N2 as well as F2. Here, the angle of friction is calculated as 11.30 degrees. the angle of friction between N2 as well as R2 is equal to 11.30 degrees. The normal reactive force N3 is perpendicular to the inclined surface of the wedge. That means it is making an angle 90 degrees to the inclined surface of the wedge. Whereas the inclined surface of the wedge is making an angle 80 degrees with the horizontal. That means this inclined surface of the wedge is making an angle 80 degrees with the horizontal axis of the wedge. If that is the case, then the normal reactive force inclination with the horizontal axis of the wedge is 90 degrees minus 80 degrees, which becomes 10 degrees. N3 is the normal reaction exerted by the wall on the inclined surface of the wedge. This normal reaction N3 is perpendicular to the inclined surface of the wedge. F3 is the frictional force between wall as well as inclined surface of the wedge. Here, the friction force is acting along the contact surface of wall as well as wedge in the upward direction. Here, F3 is the frictional force. Now we'll draw the resultant force for normal reaction N3 and frictional force F3. Here, the angle of friction is calculated earlier, which is equal to 11.30 degrees, and angle made by the wedge is 10 degrees with this horizontal. Then this is 10 degrees and angle of friction is 11.30 degrees. The angle of friction is in between resultant force as well as normal reaction, and normal reaction with this horizontal line is nothing but wedge angle. Wedge angle is 10 degrees and angle of friction is 11.30 degrees. Then the resultant force R3's inclination with the horizontal is equal to summation of the angle of friction as well as angle of the wedge, which is equal to 10 plus 11.30 degrees, which is equal to 21.30 degrees. With this, we completed drawing reactive forces acting on the wedge. Now we'll draw active force acting on the wedge, that is P. Now we will resolve the resultant forces R2 as well as R3 into their horizontal as well as vertical components. For our convenience sake, we will draw the axis of the wedge. Here, this is the applied force P. Then R3, that is resultant force R3's inclination with the horizontal is 21.30 degrees, and resultant force R2's inclination with the horizontal is 11.30 degrees. This is R3, which is making an angle 21.30 degrees with the horizontal, and R2's inclination with the horizontal is 11.30 degrees. Resolve resultant force R3 as well as R2 into their horizontal as well as vertical components. For R3, the horizontal component value is R3 cos 21.30 degrees and vertical component value is R3 sin 21.30 degrees. For R2, the horizontal component value is R2 cos 11.30 degrees and vertical component value is R2 sin 11.30 degrees. That is, horizontal component value is R3 cos 21.30 degrees and vertical component value is R3 sin 21.30 degrees. For resultant force R2, horizontal component value is R2 cos 11.30 degrees and vertical component value is R2 sin 11.30 degrees. In order to calculate the values of the unknown forces, say P as well as R3, we consider the equilibrium of the wedge. Under equilibrium of the wedge, we are considering two conditions. The first condition is summation of horizontal forces is equal to 0, and the second condition is summation of vertical forces is equal to 0. First, we will consider summation of the horizontal forces is equal to 0. That is, sigma f of x is equal to 0. Here, the horizontal forces are R3 cos 21.30 degrees and R2 cos 11.30 degrees. Here we are considering rightward forces as positive, leftward forces as negative. Then R3 cos 21.30 degrees is equal to R2 cos 11.30 degrees. Here from the earlier iteration we found that R2 is equal to 85 Newton. Then substitute R2 is equal to 85 Newton in this equation. Then R3 is equal to R2 into cos 11.30 degrees by cos 21.30 degrees. Here substitute R2 is equal to 85 Newton. With that we will get R3 is equal to 85 into cos 11.30 degrees by cos 21.30 degrees. After calculating this, we'll get R3 is equal to 89.46 Newton. That is, the resultant force R3 is equal to 89.46 Newton. R3 is equal to 89.46 Newton and R2 is equal to 85 Newton. These two values are to be substituted in the next stage solution in order to find the applied force P value. Under the equilibrium condition of the wedge, we are considering the following condition. The following condition is summation of vertical forces is equal to 0. That is, sigma f of y is equal to 0. Here, the vertical forces are the applied force P and R3 sine 21.30 degrees, R2 sine 11.30 degrees. Here we are considering upward forces as positive, downward forces as negative. If that is the case, then R3 sine 21.30 degrees plus R2 sine 11.30 degrees is equal to P. Then substitute R3 is equal to 89.46 Newton and R2 is equal to 85 Newton in this equation. After substituting these two values in this equation, then 89.46 sine 21.30 degrees plus 85 into sine 11.30 degrees is equal to P. After calculating this, we will get P is equal to 32.496 plus 16.655, which is equal to 49.15. That is, the applied force P is equal to 49.15 Newton. Now we will write the answer. With the applied force P is equal to 49.15 Newton on the wedge, the block starts to move. This is the solution for the given problem. If you have any doubts or queries, to write it down below comment section. I will be very happy to answer it. Visit again for more videos on engineering mechanics using the links provided under the description of this video. Keep learning and knowledge sharing. Stay blessed. Thank you.